Hey guys, so in today's video, I thought that I would take some time to talk about visual processing disorder. For those of you who have watched my recent videos, you know that when I saw the eye specialist most recently, he told me that my peripheral vision issues were either caused by a visual processing disorder or by my seizure medicine, which at the time I was only taking Keppra. I'm currently taking Keppra and Vimpat or lacosamide. So, like I said, what I wanted to talk about today is visual processing disorder because I haven't seen my neurologist yet, so I am still taking the Keppra. I will talk to my neurologist about the potential that my Keppra was causing a visual processing disorder, or not visual processing disorder, that my Keppra was causing some eyesight problems, or talk to him about the potential of a visual processing disorder. So if I look down, it's because I do have my phone here with some notes that I took about visual processing disorder so that I can fully explain everything to you. So I'm going to talk about what it is and how it can affect people. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information because I know that when you talk about different processing disorders, some people get a little bit confused. So I just wanted to take the time to explain it all to you. So visual processing disorder isn't actually about eyesight. Even though I have peripheral vision issues, if I am diagnosed with a visual processing disorder, I do still see 20/20 from this direction. So straight forward, I see 20/20. So people with visual processing disorder can have 20/20 vision, but still struggle with how the brain interprets the information that they are gaining from their vision. So what I see, my brain might not be able to process fully if I do have a visual processing disorder. Um, so basically, this is how I wrote it. So if you think of it this way, this might be a little bit easier to understand. So your eyes are like the cameras, and your brain is like the computer that's processing the footage that you are importing from the camera or the SD card. So if you have a visual processing disorder, the camera might work just fine, but the computer has a harder time making sense of what it's seeing, if that makes sense. So for example, someone with a visual processing disorder might have trouble recognizing shapes or letters, even if they've seen them before. They might struggle to tell the difference between similar objects, and they might find it overwhelming to focus on like a page that is filled with different text. These challenges can show up in everyday tasks like reading, writing, math, or even sports. And for those of you who don't know, visual processing disorder is actually a learning disability, from what I have read about. Because as when the eye specialist told me that, I started doing some research because, it's very frustrating to have these issues to begin with. And then he basically said, this eye specialist spent like 5 minutes with me and didn't really give me much information to go off of at all. So I did most of the research myself. And thankfully, I was able to find some very helpful resources to give me more information in a more clear way. So visual processing disorder is not one size fits all. It can look different for everyone that is affected by it. So I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about each of the types of visual processing issues that someone can have. So visual discrimination, which is the ability to see differences between objects that are similar. So for example, confusing a lowercase b and d, or mistaking a cat for a dog. And then there's visual memory. So this would be remembering what you've seen. If someone struggles with that, they might have a hard time recalling directions or remembering how to spell a word that they just read. I definitely don't have an issue with that. I also don't have an issue with visual discrimination. Visual spatial skills. This affects understanding where objects are in space. So if you think about like bumping into things, struggling with puzzles, or difficulty aligning numbers in math problems, I don't have an issue with that either. And visual motor integration, which is about coordinating what the eyes see and what the hands do. So it's important for writing, drawing, or catching a ball. And I don't feel like I have issues with that either. So the more that I have learned about visual processing disorder, I don't necessarily think that I have it. I think that I have peripheral vision issues, and for whatever reason, this eye specialist didn't want to take the time to do, more research or more testing. So what causes a visual processing disorder? It's not always a clear answer. It can be linked to developmental delays, brain injuries, or even conditions like dyslexia or ADHD. And there's a lot that can help with the visual processing disorder. So if you know somebody or want to help somebody that you love who has a visual processing disorder or is diagnosed with one, break tasks into smaller steps. So give clear, simple instructions to avoid overwhelming the person. Use multisensory learning tools. Try combining visuals with touch, sound, or movement. So for example, tracing letters in sand while saying the sounds. Highlight key information. Use colors, highlighters, or bold text to guide the focus. Limiting clutter. So a clean and simple workspace can help reduce distractions, which apparently really helps with this. And occupational therapy and visual therapy can improve certain skills over time. There's also tools like large print books, audiobooks, and specialized apps that can make learning and daily tasks easier for someone with visual processing disorder. And I just want to remind people that someone who has visual processing disorder, it doesn't define their potential. So someone who has a visual processing disorder can still be someone who is able to work, someone who is able to succeed, everything in life that someone without a visual processing disorder can achieve. And as long as they have the right support and they use strategies, they can thrive and succeed. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you guys would like some more information, definitely let me know. If you guys have any questions, let me know that as well. I can answer them in another video, and I will definitely keep you guys updated, because next week is when I see the neurologist, and I will let you guys know what he says. Like I said, once I did some more research about visual processing disorder, I don't feel that that's what I have. I feel like it might be either just peripheral vision issues that I'm having, or it might be something that is caused by the Keppra. So yeah, I just wanted to share that information with you guys. Again, hopefully you found it helpful, and I will talk to you guys in my next video.